and gentlemen, that we've been joined by the Chief Executive Officer of Hayat.pk. He is Dr. Asfar Malik. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Saab. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you for inviting.
So thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. Dr. Saab, just one simple question. I think, and that simple question is that whenever we go to a doctor, the doctor is supposed to ask questions, right? How does it feel to be answering questions today?
Well, I am quite acclimatized to this atmosphere. Now it's my, I think, second time. So
Yes.
I'm a bit relaxed.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Let's talk about digital health. First of all, the idea, the conception of it. Was it the pandemic that made you think about it, that this needs to be introduced? Or, I mean, again, what was the entire purpose? Also, how are people receiving it? Are they open to this new course?
Right.
Or is it just you incorporating your book into the course?
No. Actually, we were into digital health before the pandemic.
Okay.
We set up the company, Hayat.pk, I think 1.5 years before the pandemic came.
Okay.
But definitely, with the onset of pandemic, we saw a mushroom growth of all sort of digital health companies. And we also saw investment in Pakistan. I think you must be knowing that this last 2 quarters, Pakistan received the biggest chunk of foreign investment, especially in digital, e-commerce and digital health, as it received in the past decade.
True.
So
That's
this
nice.
is
growing
because
sector.
investment is diverting from China to Pakistan now. This is the new world order.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I'm also surprised, but there is some shift now. Lot
For
of
somebody
foreign
to break this news to us, how can they be surprised, sir?
No, I mean, lot of investors 1 year back used to ask, where is Pakistan?
Yeah.
But now they know, okay, you are from Pakistan.
Present, sir.
Yes, yes, they
yes.
know the name and
Wonderful.
they know the. So with the growth of digital health, it dawned upon me that we need to have a unified forum for that.
Okay.
There is no association like we have association for textile designs, association for pharmaceutical. So with that idea, we set up Digital Health Association Pakistan, and I have the honor or privilege to be its founding president.
MashaAllah.
That's brilliant.
And this year in August, we held Pakistan's first digital health conference.
Okay.
And Governor Punjab Chaudhry Sarwar was the chief guest. We had renowned speakers. Professor Saab was also there. So that was something that we achieved over a period of less than 1 year, that we erected this association, and then we had its first conference.
Yeah.
I think, sorry, just to add over here, I think you were really lucky maybe, or you were really smart in terms of your vision to actually digitize everything before the pandemic started. And then there was a window of opportunity when the pandemic started, because that was the need of the hour then. You already had your resources at your hand, right? Because you said you launched before the pandemic. So you were a step ahead in terms of all the other competitors. Did that serve you in any way?
Yes, it did. But I was, acquainted with since 2015. I was working in my insurance company. I was head of claims. So I gave the first presentation on digital claims.
Okay.
There was one website, Microsoft Health Vault. Nobody knew of it, but it stored the patient data at that time in cloud.
All right.
So when I gave the presentation to my staff members and to my team, they were surprised, what is a health vault? But I mean, I got acquainted to it, I think in 2013, thanks to Coursera, when I
Right.
attended the first free course on health informatics in cloud. I was in Saudi Arabia at that time, and that really opened my mind. What is a cloud data? How patient data could be shared in the cloud? One in New York, a doctor in Lahore can access that data.
Yeah.
And when I think in the previous government, it started that all the tertiary hospitals could exchange their data, they should be linked.
And they should be able to do that.
Yes,
I mean,
and
CMS systems now do that.
yes,
but I don't know about
they
the
also do that. So definitely the pandemic gave it a big boost, and the background of this collaboration with Health Services Academy is that about a month ago we have a Digital Health Association WhatsApp group.
Okay.
In that group, a simple post came by some of the company. I will not name that, but a person was having a heart attack. He was holding his chest, and the one-liner was, take a telehealth consultation. Now that was something which I discussed with Professor
He
Saab,
might
that
not
this
even be able to take.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, this is something that should not be publicized. And fortunately, I had compiled a book at that time.
Health insurance.
Basically, these were the guidelines for the doctors. Initially, they were guidelines that I had developed for the doctors of my company, so they should know which telehealth consultations to take, which to avoid, which are the most frequent telehealth consultations, which are the taboo consultations that you should be knowing that somebody is calling you. So there were some don'ts. On the top of that was the cardiovascular cases where somebody is presenting with a heart pain, just give NSAID, aspirin and refer to emergency.
Right.
Second no was a trauma, anything like suicidal tendency or anything, just refer them to suicide helpline. Any trauma, any injury, any bleeding, you cannot treat them online via telehealth.
Yeah.
So I discussed this with Professor Saab. I said that we are lucky that the curriculum, the text is already there, the textbook is there. So sir was gracious enough. He said that Health Services Academy is already offering online courses, and we just moved ahead with that, and without any red tapes. I'm impressed, and we signed an MOU, and inshallah we're going to be live next month.
Wow.
First of all, comment over here, Dr. Saab, where you said that in your course or in the book that you're writing, where you said you're also giving guidelines to the doctors, ke ye cheese we cannot take online. I think it is very commendable because we're talking about ethics of treating humans here, right? It is humanity first of all. And Shahzad, I feel like this is something you and I have been discussing for so long in terms of private doctors and their practices over here in Pakistan. Really sorry to say this, but at a point it does get commercial for them as well, right? It's all about
Obviously,
making
you
money.
pay first, then you, even if it's
Yeah,
digital
I would,
consultation.
there's some interesting aspect here.
Sorry, can I, if I
Yes.
can just complete my question, then you can wrap it up for us, all right? So that is definitely commendable. And my question being, with such a course you are going to teach to your students, I think they're going to be brilliant doctors as well, and ethical ones, first of all.
Yes, that's important.
I want that book or that course to be a part of public and private medical universities and colleges. Do you think that can happen, so that all the doctors that pass out are actually real, you know?
Well, interestingly, Vice Chancellor of University of Health Sciences, Professor Shahzad Akram, we recently signed an MOU that we would offer free practice management software to young graduates.
Oh, that's
And the
good.
practice management software is a SaaS model, software as a service. You don't have to actually buy the software, you have internet,
It's a service.
and the cost of it is less than the average internet bill per month.
All right.
Oh.
And
So-
yeah, and you know, one very important aspect you should not forget, the basic purpose of medicine should be to prevent disease and promote health.
True.
So through the use of technology, if we can prevent illness and if we can protect the people, that is an additional advantage. Why we failed in the COVID? Because there was no treatment. So one of the best and one of the most modern systems which we were discussing before the show, even the most modern and the best health systems of the world collapsed. Why?
Exactly.
No one
Because
knew
they
what
were
to do.
designed to treat.
True.
And if there is no treatment, the system fails. So we need to, and the systems who were very preventive and who were having a protection and a life skill approach towards disease prevention, they didn't go wrong. So Vietnam, South Korea, even China, the system was not high tech but more protection.
Focus on
Preventive.
So this digital health and this digital course will hopefully be working more in prevention of disease and promotion of health.
Wow, that's wonderful, which is why we actually want to congratulate you both as well. Yes, you have
One
something.
thing I want to add, that the first engagement by the patient is very important.
Okay.
You must have heard artificial intelligence, NLP, natural language processing.
Yes.
Now this is something like we are developing, this is my vision. Like a Babylon app is of USA, most popular telehealth
Yeah.
app.
Okay.
Before paying, you said commercialization, if it is $10 or $15, they initially engage the patient free of charge. You download the app, you enter your symptoms, you have pain in stomach, it will ask various differential diagnosis questions based on the algorithms and the data that it has been supported with. Then it will eventually lead whether you need to consult a doctor or you just take an aspirin and sleep, or take a brufen or sleep. So
Okay.
this is what we are looking at in Pakistan. Even if somebody cannot afford a telehealth consultation, at least in Urdu, Sindhi or any local language, they can engage like मेरे पेट में दर्द हो रहा है, या वो लिखे अपने symptoms,
Right, right.
and then at least they are guided that actually this is something that they need to escalate to a local GP or not, or they can relax. Any other symptom, this is where the digital health stands apart. From the comfort of their home, they can actually get the first medical chatbot consultation free of charge.
And not a generalized one, actually particular to their case.
Yes, and if there is an escalation needed, it will say that now you need to consult a doctor, you want to consult online or consult your local GP.
Got the point.
Brilliant,
Thank you very much,
brilliant.
Dr. Asfar. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Shahzad Sahab as well for being with us, and it's going to be a milestone which you are on to achieve as well, and we want people to kind of have that sense and knowledge as well, which is beautiful. But God forbid, you know, if you still continue to fill in a form, I don't think that you'll be feeling all right as well. You know, it's we do not want to fill in a form. We just want the result right out there as well. So, but ladies and gentlemen, obviously things are going to get better in the near future. Please don't go anywhere because we're going to make it much more better than how they were already. How is something we'll be sharing in the next segment. Let's do this. Good morning.